What's up? Yeah, so I drew this. We wrote this on stream like forever ago. Um, and I finally drew it. I've been like sitting on the drawings for a while. We got to ink. There's a couple drawings that like I want to change. I'm sorry if I keep looking over my shoulder. I'm just making sure that we're good to stream and that the audio level's fine. Audio could be a little bit better. We're gonna try to kiss the mic here. Okay. Okay. Um, killing your dreams? No, enhancing your dreams. So, he's supposed to be coming in the room 1 hour from now. Yeah. He's supposed to be coming in the room, so we got to put like a doorknob right here. And the other thing that I wanted to do, is that like we have like a light source coming in this direction, so like I don't want to just black out the door here, but I mean we might need to like add some texture when we hit the Photoshop section. But one of the things I wanted to do was maybe darken up the face. This is one of the things that I was resisting when I was working on this initially, because like this is the first time you see this character, and I don't want it to be like everything is darkened in, but it's like a horror story, so I don't know, maybe we just gotta roll with it. So basically I'm like trying to figure out spot blacks in my mind right now. So like if we're putting that light source there, we gotta change where the spot blacks are on the arm. We have like kind of a complicated light source thing going on, because we have light source from the door, and then we have light source over here with this character with the like the lamp. So we're just trying to like embrace that, kill our darlings here, and just kind of figure out exactly what we're doing. So this was drawn like 4 months ago. I thought that I could have headphones on and listen to music, but man, it is too hot in Florida for headphones. You should start painting and testing new brushes. Should always be testing. I pick out, are you talking Photoshop brushes? I always, man, I kind of hate working on the page seems so far away. I feel like I want to just like, here is the comfort zone, but I can't. I don't know. You're talking actual brushes. Okay. I pick out one day a year to do comic brushes, and just kind of like see, because like I change within the year. Photoshop is my wheelhouse. And like I kind of wanted to put like streaks of light coming through, but like I don't know exactly how to do that. Painting miniatures doesn't work well in Photoshop. That's cool that you're painting miniatures. I always wanted to do that as well. Like something like this, but like I don't know if we should. Man, I bought the Hellboy box set, or the Hellboy board game box set. And who baby, it's got a lot of miniatures in there, and I really want to paint them. Yeah. You got that one here as well? Yeah. I really want to paint them. I do want to, but I don't because I know it's a rabbit hole and I don't have the time. I will like if I'm going to get this done, then I have to not paint miniatures. Maybe I should hire out people to paint miniatures for me. That's a thing, right? Yeah, it's expensive too. Miniatures. Whew. When I was playing Magic the Gathering on a regular basis, the person that I was playing Magic with, so I think that looks a little better. And we got like kind of a light source going. And like the brother is a little bit in darkness, and a little bit in light, and so is this one. So we kind of got that going. And since we set this up, we can kind of like, I kind of just want to like straight up just black this out right here. I'm just making sure this is showing up on stream. Like all of this is blacked out, all of this. Because as long as we get like his swooping, like, okay, when you make a comic, this is something that I as a colorist think about a lot, and I know that very, very good comic artists think about this too. Some more amateur do not. You got to make each character like identifiable. Sometimes as a colorist, it falls on me to make them identifiable, like make one blonde, make one brunette, like that kind of thing. So on this character, the distinguishing features are like his hook nose and his middle part in his hair. And on this one, it's obviously the glasses and then the front of the hair. We did not do the hook. We did not do the part here. That's weird. That's wrong. We shouldn't do that. Okay. Let's start inking, I guess. I noticed too when I was at Heroes and I was like inking at the table, that I was inking a little bit tighter when it was with brush pens. So we may use the brush pens for the faces and then like ink the rest of it. Jimmy G Color, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. Welcome to Colorist Society. So yeah, we may blend we may blend a little bit the techniques here. I also, man, this thing is like forever and a day past where I want it. I might maybe we adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. Ink is down on the page. Let's get popping. These pages have sat in front of my desk without only getting easier from here on out. Yeah, exactly. These pages have sat on my desk literally months without ink on them. So it feels good to get some actual lines down. It feels good, but it also feels weird and awful. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's also important to know that nothing that we actually draw is final, even though it feels final because it's ink. Because we're going to go in here and Photoshop Nick Filardi is going to really help out drawing Nick Filardi. Yeah, these are my pencils. We also, you know that feeling from the minis where you've been staring at them for a long time and then you're like, well, we're getting it done. Today's the day. There's a big one staring at you. It's done 30%. You haven't touched it in 2 months. It feels weird going back to it, right? So this is a horror story. We wrote it on stream. You're forgiven if you've forgotten because it has been forever. It is about two brothers. Loosely based on that television show, The Curse of Oak Island. But you like what you've already done on it? Nice. Yeah, I like the pencils. That I think that man, maybe that's part of why this thing took a little while to get started. It's because I liked the pencils. Liking things is a disaster. Afraid of fucking it up. Exactly. Liking things is like absolutely never where you want to be. Should always be in a process of hating the work. Man, I would really love, by the way, to get a nicer camera so you guys can like have these lines coming in a little bit crisper than where they're at right now. Oh, look at that. We are just smudging the crap out of this. All right. Brush pen spot has been successfully executed. But yeah, I'd really like to get a nicer camera so that you guys can see a little bit easier as to like what's going on. I think it would help. Yeah, man, give it a shot. The thing is like, looks pretty good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see some like, this hand looks weird, by the way, but I'm rolling with it because you know what? I was just going to say this about the miniatures and like, being like, oh, you're going to give it a shot tomorrow. That's good. Is that, at some point it's just got to get done, Like it can't be half, like, if I didn't touch this thing today and like it stayed in the condition that it was in for months and months and months. Uh, I would hate that. I would like I'd hate like after a while. I'm using the what am I using? The C920, I think. Yeah. You're working on an army? Yeah. So anything you do inside the list is good. Sure. I am using the Logitech C, whatever the like step up is from like the base model. Um, C920 and the C922. I want to go like when I say like I want to upgrade, I'm talking about like upgrading like I want to go from the Logitech cams that I have now to like a what is it, a DSLR or whatever, with like HDMI out. Like I want to go from like the $60 range to like the $600 range. That's the goal. But we'll see. That's down the line. I gotta pay taxes. uh, July is a month for quarterly taxes, so that's got to happen first. Yeah, don't use DSLR. Um, I have one picked out. I don't think it's DSLR. I don't know what it is. It might be mirrorless. Is that the difference? Is that the difference? Um, you hear complaints of the 922. It's only good things about the 920. When you stream traditional, it's blurry. You can't get it right. Yeah, yeah. It's whatever. It's a camera that I picked out that looks fine. I saw some like test footage and stuff, and I was like, oh, this will work. Man, maybe I should have used the brush pen for all the streaks. The reason that I'm using a brush for this stuff is because I kind of just like I like the brush. If it's mirrorless, it's good. You got one mounted over the workspace. Yeah. Um, I kind of like. I'm not leaning into the like. How far in do I have to be before I lean into the camera? There. Okay. Um, I like the way traditional, like, you can have happy accidents. Like with Photoshop, I have such a control over it that I rarely get happy accidents. And I also, like, at the end of the day, I don't really want to be in Photoshop when I'm like, trying to make something chilling out. So my phone keeps trying to go to sleep on me, and I'm like, no, we're streaming. The other thing is like, so I know that I'm making mistakes, and I know that the drawing's old, and I'm like a little bit better now. But you always love traditional work. Yeah, I do too. But here's the thing. Like, I just want to get this thing done because this thing isn't even, like, I'm not going to be putting this anywhere. It's the added bonus of being able to buy it. Yeah. uh, this isn't like going anywhere. Like as far as on the table or whatever. Like I don't have any intentions of like putting these drawings anywhere. So the reason that I wanted to, where I'm like, it's just we just need to get it done. Like at the end of the day, it's just got to get done. We're going top down, and I want to go this way, and I can't because we're using ink. So let's turn it, I guess. Oh yeah, now we're talking. This ink too, like, has like such a weird like texture to it. I assume it's showing up on cam, but like I kind of like love it. It's makes for this like kind of oily looking mark making. So yeah, my thought process with this is like, since it's not going anywhere, like it just needs to get done kind of thing. Um so I'm not going to try to like beat myself up too much about making the art like perfect. And you know what? I think that's like something that a lot of people get caught up in like trying to make something perfect and then they never make anything. So I'm trying to not do that. You like that? Yeah. Doesn't need to be perfect, right? Just needs to be done. That's advice that Kyle Starks gave me one time at a show. I was saying that like I was like I'm having trouble like finding the time to get something done, and he was like, "Dude, I guarantee you're putting too much thought into it." Um, he was like, "Just get it done. Don't think about it. Just get it done, and then like do the next one." You know. We are like all my drawings. We're probably gonna hit this thing with whiteout at a certain point, and then also uh, we're probably going to uh, we're gonna hit it with whiteout, and then I think we're gonna use zip tone on it as well. So I think that'll be fun. But like the biggest thing that this whole drawing has to be more so than perfect is interesting. Um, you've not something you've seen live. Oh, with zip tone, I might not. When I say we're gonna hit with zip tone, I mean digital zip tone. I actually got a bunch of screens that I've picked up that I do want to use on stream, but we're not going to be doing it on this because this is going to be so large and the zip tone is like so expensive. We will use it on stream, but when I do use it, but I'm not going to use it for this. Works the same in the end. Exactly. So my plan was, by the way, if you guys don't know how much zip tone is, let me tell you. You spend, I spent about $90 getting zip tone from Amazon. These are my pages, Brendan. This is a horror story that I had wrote. I had wrote it on stream like months ago. But yeah, the zip tone is so expensive, like ridiculously expensive. I spent $90. I got 20 sheets. And not the same sheet over and over again. I got 20 unique sheets. So like if there's one in there that I like, the Pirate Ghost Story. If there's one in there that I like, then I guess what? I gotta get another sheet because I'm gonna use it up. It's a kind of a pain in the butt. So my plan is to scan the sheets, make it like a database of all the zip tone, so I can use it digitally, and then when I can, or when I want to, I will use it on commissions. But if I know something isn't going to be like held in a person's hand and like purchased, then I'm not going to use the zip tone sheet just because it's so expensive. These are like books in the background on the shelf here. I wanted to make like a creepy office, basically. And then I was trying to think of like stuff to line the shelves with. These are probably going to be semi blacked out. We're gonna do like I said, a screen tone. But like we're running into a problem where like the hand is competing with the books on the shelf. So we're going to fix that in post. Photoshop Nick Filardi is going to come bail us out. But yeah, I do just kind of want this thing done because this was always a test for process, and I've already learned a ton, and I'm like, you don't know what you don't know, so I am I want to finish it off just so that I can figure out what I still need to figure out. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I think that makes sense. We are using a ton of black. I was thinking about, by the way, in the last like couple of days, speaking of comics, I mean, I guess we're speaking of comics. I was thinking a lot about how Bendis got his start writing and drawing his own books, and then shifted to just writing. And obviously, he's very successful. Um, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I feel like when I am writing that I'm like, I don't know. Like I have more ideas than I can draw. Basically, is what I'm saying. Um, and I was like, man, if I can, I wonder if I should just like write all this stuff down and then like draw whatever like dumb thing I want and then like try to do pitches like actual comic books. See, this is the thing is like this is not actual comic books. This may look like actual comic books. And I mean, I guess it kind of is actual comic books. But in a way it's not. In a way it's just me like messing around. Like I don't take this as seriously as I take like Nightwing or Umbrella Academy. Like those things I take deadly serious. I want them to be the best books that they can be. So obviously like I'm trying to make the best books that I can with those. With this it's like, oh, I'm going to make a weird ghost story because I want to draw these fucked up ghosts and pirates and stuff. Like this is me just like messing around and like having some fun. I mean, obviously I'm not going to try to make it bad, but like the stakes are lower. And especially with the writing that we did before. I'm not sure. Hey. Rick Grayson is a treasure that DC gave to each and every one of us. But yeah, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm thinking about like if I should, because if I start to like pitch things, then it becomes real, like, which is like not the place I want to be. Paid work versus fun, yeah. Like once it becomes real. And that's assuming, like, we're assuming a lot here. Like, it's got to get, people want it, and, like, it'll get picked up somewhere. Like, we're assuming all those things. But yeah, it would turn from, like, this is a fun thing to, like, I don't know. And plus, like, like, we scripted our Truzine earlier today, like a couple hours ago, and I don't know that I can make someone like take a thing that I wrote called Murder She Shitposted seriously. Like my ideas, I feel like I need, like, no one's gonna make Murder She Shitposted unless it's me. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I would really struggle to get something picked up. I think that a lot of comics in general is about who you know and who will put eyes on your books. And I've actually jokingly pitched some stuff before to people who have been like, hey, we'd pick that up. So, like, we'd make that happen if you want to. Send me a thing and let's get it started. And I'm like, no, that was a bad idea. You don't actually want that. So I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing. But then, like, I also, man, I interviewed Kevin Mellon while I was at Heroes, and that's going to go up eventually. Speaking of bad ideas, your Axel Press Button copies arrived. Excellent. Axel Press Button, also a treasure for comics. You guys should all, if you don't know what Axel Press Button is, what you should do is after the stream is over, or maybe like later tonight, you're going to bed, you're thinking, man, what was that book that Nick was talking about? Axel Press Button. Going to read them next week and get back from Montreal. Nice. Good luck with the show. Yeah. Axel Press Button. You guys should all read it. It's really good. I'm not even joking. It sounds like a joke. I get it. It sounds like a joke. I assure you it's not. But it kind of is, but it's not. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, you guys should read it. It's about a cyborg with the face of Ernest Borgnine, who was killed. He used to be a man, and he was killed by a plant in space, and so now he has a phobia of plants. And he's fantastic. He's got a giant button. The issue that I got when I got into him, he had a giant button on his chest, right? So he's got this giant button, red button, and the whole issue that I had like a random issue. The whole issue that I had, he never pressed the button, and nobody acknowledged that the button was there. Giant red button on his chest, like this big, and nobody acknowledged that the button was there. I'm trying to figure out how to tackle this last shelf. And he, so I was like, I gotta find out what this button is for. So I gotta find some more Axel Press Button. Turns out the button, when pressed, gives him orgasmic pleasure. Is how they worded it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a buck wild book, and I was like, you know what, I'm in on this. I'm in on orgasmic pleasure Axel Press Button. But that's like, you know, the kind of comics I like. I don't know. This is the other thing. Oh, so I was going to say, I interviewed Kevin Mellon, and we were talking about like comics as like DIY punk rock, and like how it's shifting from that. And as anything, entertainment shifts from the DIY punk rock to like, oh, there's money here, and like corporations move in and they, you know, want to make it corporate. And, you know, Marvel, DC, like they've been corporate for a long time. They're like Warner Brothers and Disney, you know, like they are the corporations. But like, man, I don't know. If I start like pitching things, like making it more corporate is not the goal in like the work that I'm doing. I literally, we just did, you know, that Truzine script that ended with murder, like the character wanting to murder a corporation. So like, that's where my head is at. Like the more that I do, not only comic work, but just like art in general, the more that I'm like, make it how you want to make it. The more that I'm like, you know, you've been lied to. Like, we've all been lied to by the media that we've consumed. We've all been told, you know, like, you want to make superhero books. You want to make this particular superhero book. Your superhero shouldn't kill. Your superhero, or if he does kill, should be ultra violent and X-rated. You know, like Nick Fury declares war on corporate America. You know, like it. I feel like so much of comics and mainstream comics and like comics that, you know, you read at a very young age that teach you about like how to make comics are like watered down versions of somebody's vision. You know what I mean? Like the thing that you want is rough around the edges, or at least what I want. I was saying to this in the in my chat room today, is that like I prefer to buy comics that look homemade. I prefer to buy comics with you know, something to say. I prefer to buy comics that you know, were has like the hand of the artist. If it's too polished, I mean, I'm in the business of making things look polished. Maybe that is coloring like my preferences for when I'm not working, but like I get bored. I get bored when it's too polished, personally. I was like, I'm like in the mindset of give me a slightly like blacked out you know, crazy book. Give me something weird. Give me something weird. I just want it weird. I just want your own voice coming through, not what you think you should be making comics as, you know? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. One of the things that drives me nuts is when people are like, I've made my first comic, and they're like, check it out. It's my first book, or it's like my 10th book or whatever. And they're just making Superman comics like over and over and over again without calling it Superman. They're just making the hero somebody else. Like I'm like, there's already Superman. You know, they're already doing Superman, and they're already doing it so well. You know, like I don't understand why you're like doing this. Like, certainly you as an individual have more to say than just, I don't know, Superman again. You know, I don't know. Anyway, it's like 2:04, so I'm gonna wash this brush. I'm gonna review. This is why you and your husband make only cat horror comics. Perfect. Give me all your cat horror comics. Micarella, who is in the chat right now, who just chatted, we're gonna check out her portfolio, her color portfolio. I gotta wash my brushes and then orient myself with her work, and then we're gonna be live about a half an hour from now, and we're gonna do a full portfolio review. So you're not gonna want to miss that. Don't stress. And we're gonna have to finish inking this panel at another time, and this whole page at another time. I don't know. We'll get to it eventually. It'll happen. Now that it's got ink on it, it's in my mindset. It'll happen. I don't know if we're going to ink this whole thing on stream, by the way. I might like chip away at it and then ink some of it on stream, because we wrote it on stream. So I want to ink some of it on stream. And then when we get to putting together the letters and Photoshop stuff and like actually have it all come together, we're going to be doing all of that on stream. So look forward to it. I'll see you guys in like a half an hour. Guys and girls, half an hour. See you there. I gotta go shut the stream down.